Okay, now I think I'm live. Hello? Hello? Oh yeah, I'm definitely live. Nice. Okay, I'm just setting up my chat over here. Then we'll get started.
All right.
All right, so as you can see, I got a super secret key there right on the screen, first thing. That's silly. For those of you who don't know, my name is Matthew. All one viewers right now, hello. It also could just be my phone. Oh, hi. Hello. How's it going, Ponraj? I am trying to make a Flux 1.1 server right now. Well, I have the server. I'm trying to make a Flux 1.1 front end, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. So I have a couple templates here just for a backend in Quart, which is essentially Flask, but it's asynchronous, which means that I can do a lot of things very quickly and at the same time simultaneously. And then the front end is going to be NextJS. I have a couple templates that I like to start off with. I made these over time. They have some basic things like one of my favorite things being base entity. This does a lot of the serialization and deserialization. You'll see me using Postman a lot. Oh, let me change this over so you can see all the code and stuff first. Yeah, it's this stuff does a lot of the serialization and deserialization. As you can see here is where I already postmaned the server to get generated images of a monkey taking a selfie holding a sign that says Matthew DevStream, as you saw in the thumbnail. It's super nice, super simple. But today I'm just making the front end. It's going to be wonderful. And as you can see, generates lots of images very, very quickly. Let's go through first how it does it. So here I've got my Flux 1.1 generator. Flux 1.1, the Black Forest Labs actually just came out with an absolutely beautiful API. So you can spend a little bit of your cash money moolah and you can just call their HTTP, and they have all the infrastructure like servers and stuff set up so that you can generate. So you have to first start off. I'll explain simply what this does here. Starting off, I have a ratio. You get to pick the pixel values that it generates at. It's a maximum of 1440, minimum of 256, but nobody wants images that small, of course. So I have something where you can send in the prompt, tells it the values of the pixels. You start recording the time, and then I send off, you can generate n images, so I send off n HTTP calls to start generating all the images. And the way that the API works is that it will start generating the images, and then you have to pull another endpoint in order to actually get the images in the end. So that makes it really, really nice, because I can just send off 8 starts in a row, and then I can go back and just pull for all 8 at once. So that's what I do here. Every 0.5 seconds, I double check with the server, and I say, have you gotten the images ready for us yet? It gets it really nice, and then I have this S3 client, and this S3 client will end up, as you can see, going to my S3 bucket called Matthew Assets here, into an image pool with some like generated stuff here so that I don't accidentally get stuff. And let me know if you guys dislike WebP. I've heard a lot of controversial opinions about WebP images. I personally am a huge fan of them, but I know other people are absolutely not fans of WebP images. So that's pretty much what happens, is that once all these images are ready, they get re-uploaded to my S3 bucket, and then I get a bunch of image URLs for those. I print out the time that it took for them to generate, and then yippity-yippity-you-dah, it generates them. So here I'll show it to you in action again. let's see, monkey taking a selfie. You can also change the ratio. Let's just get rid of that so we can have a couple squares. And we have n equals 3 here. So now we've got some nice images. Monkey taking a selfie. Another monkey taking a selfie. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful stuff. Flux 1.1 Pro is the absolute best image generator you can get on the market right now, unless you look at image generator Arena right now, in which case you'd think that it's Recraft, but I'm personally not the biggest fan of it. Flux 1.1 Pro will always be my favorite. So that's super nice. I also have an OpenAI set of functions here, which is nice, but I don't think I'm probably going to be using it here today, maybe later on. So that's most of what I've got. Nice back end setup. I haven't done anything to set up the front end yet, and I actually kind of forget how to set up the front end properly, so we're going to see how well I can actually do this. But I also have a nice front end, template here. So as you can see, I have a couple beautiful stuff here set up. Podcast. Oh yeah, I was making a podcast app as well. And so I just have a couple templates here. This obviously isn't called podcast app. This is now called image generation app. And we're going to keep it that way. I have a couple styles here. Global.css. This just makes it so it's really, really nice to look at. And we have a couple primary color, secondary color. We're going to keep a lot of our CSS variables in this global.css file. We have a couple pages, we have a couple components. We have no components yet. I lied. We have no components yet. And we have a couple objects. Now the beautiful thing about this is that it actually comes directly from my backend server. I have a couple tools here, and what I can do, if I go over to my convert.ts, I can just change this. Instead of being generic front end, I have it called image front end. And what this will do is, if we look at this objects file, and let's also actually, before I forget, git init, so that we can keep some change logs. All right, so now we can just, we started off everything. All right, so as I was saying, the beautiful part about this is we've got this convert to TypeScript, which will take all of the objects within our domain folder, abstract entity, base entity, and importantly, this image generations, and it will take all of those objects and make them into TypeScript interfaces. So let's do that now. Wonderful. So as you can see, added this new image generation object. You've got an ID, created date, all those sorts of fancy fun things. And then what I also have, as you can see in this Postman, is you get also returned a prompt, which is the prompt that got fed into the image generator. And then you get your image URL, which is obviously the image URL. Pretty self-explanatory stuff there. So first thing we're going to do in the front end, we're going to install all of our things that we could possibly ever need, which I apparently, did I already do that? Yeah, I did that. So now we can, as far as I know, just run it. We refresh this page over here, and we've got ourselves a nice hello world page. Not too worried, not too stressing. So the first thing we'll do is I'm going to make an image generation page component. I usually like to keep them in folders. I don't know why. I started this a long time ago. Inside there, image generation page.tsx. One thing I've really liked is using Cursor. It's one of my favorite IDEs nowadays. I don't think this needs any parameters. Sure, let's do that. See how Cursor just writes all of your code for you. In fact, this isn't even a dev stream. This is just a stream of me pressing tab as it does everything for me. So enjoy that. Image generation page. Boom. We've got a page. It says image generation on the top. You guys have never seen development like this. Absolute maximum speed. What I also like to do is I like to always start off with a nice fresh styles page. And then I like to link it. I know that there's something like CSS modules or something like that inside of NextJS, and I know that it's much better, so don't come after me for that. But I actually am a big fan of just using the CSS files, mostly just because I haven't learned how to do the other one, which I think is something that I will have on my bucket list to eventually do. All right, so what do we need? We need a nice text area. Image generation page prompt. I don't think we need that much. We don't need that much verbosity. Prompt. Enter your prompt here. Ooh, look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that gorgeous? And generate. What we're also going to need, of course, is an API to actually talk to this backend here. So, I've got a config here. The nice, beautiful part about this is that I built this previously so that the development, it'll automatically check if you're in a development server, and then the API it'll point to is going to be a local host, and if you're not on development, it'll point to a website. Usually I'd have this pointing to a real website, but generic.com unfortunately probably costs $10 bajillion, and I'm not going to pay $10 bajillion for a domain today. Oh, let's see here. But I need an API. Beautiful. I have a whole API endpoints automatically generated. This doesn't have the image generation stuff though, so we're gonna go back here. Generate TypeScript API is another fancy tool that I made. And this is also called image frontend, right? Cool. And I can run this, and you'll see in this API, it's going to automatically update and have all of the endpoints. So I just got to call it image generation API dot get image generations by generation ID. All of these are static functions, so you don't actually need to call anything. You will need a token, which we're going to have to deal with at some point, but currently I'm not too worried about it. In fact, I'm going to go to the image generation controller and just set it so that we don't even need one right now. JWT optional, that's what we need. Perfect. No JWT necessary for us today. I don't think that changes anything, but just for good measure, we'll call that again. So what we're going to want is we're going to want a state for that, which Cursor has. Wonderful. And then we're also going to want image URLs. That's going to be a list of strings here. it wants us to generate a function called const generate image. As you can see, another just stream of me pressing tab, image generation. Cool. So now when we press generate image, it's going to take that. We also call this value. But we don't want to do that, do we? See, this is where things get complicated because we need to get generate images. We cannot do just post them. Generate. Yeah, there we go. That is what we're looking for. Now, one thing I haven't got automatically generating here is that you can also add in URL parameters. I just added that. It's actually super frustrating that I didn't have that in before. But what we could maybe do is just hope for the best for now. I wonder what the defaults are. The default is 3 images. Okay. Perfect. So then we're actually pretty much done. We're not pretty much done. Can't resolve cookie. npm install cookie. Beautiful. Okay, now we're done. One thing I really like about cursor as well is you can come here and you can say generate beautiful styles for some other page, image generation page .tsx. Boom. And what it's going to do, it's just going to blow up a bunch of just, oh my goodness, this is a lot. I don't think I want this many. I mean, it looks great, but yeah, we're gonna get rid of that for now. I don't want that. Also, we don't have anything for all the images we have here. Fortunately, it'll just do it for us, and I don't really mind that at all. Now let's try this again. But I also kind of want to include my global.css so that it might use some of the styles or reuse some of the styles. I think this is going to be quite delightful. Oh yeah, now look at that. So theoretically, oh, I also want this to get called call generate image on trigger. Beautiful. And that should I forget how to actually call this. See, I'm less familiar with React. I think you just put it on the text area, and then when you press enter on the text area, then it does that. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so dog wearing a tuxedo. Now, does this actually call anything? Oh, we're not actually running anything. That's the problem. Oh yeah, that's generating stuff. Generated 3 images. Oh yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. Now the problem with this, although it's beautiful, you can just call it 100 times exactly like that. Look at that, unhandled exception. That's crazy. Who could have guessed that things are going to have unhandled exceptions? And I probably just wasted like 30 cents generating all those images. But the problem is that all these images are super small. I don't like how small these images are. I mean, I could maybe zoom in on the page. Sure, that's okay. But what I really want is I want to be able to open the image and have it be large. So let's have selected image. And now if there's a selected image, all right, I'm turning Creature tab off, that's getting annoying. Div. Image generation. Focus, let's call it focus. I'm not the best at naming conventions, but I'm also not the best at NextJS in general, so that's all okay. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to have the image, and then we can just call this source selected image, and that should be, yeah, that should be fine. Because what we can do, in fact, I don't even think that we need the div around that. I think that we could just carry this source over. And that works super well, hopefully. Dog. Oh, what's going on? Is that supposed to be a toy? I don't know. That's crazy. Const select image is async. Actually, that's not async, is it? Image URL. And that can either be string or null. Because what I'm thinking is that if you click on this image, it just sets it back to null. And if you click on any of these images, it sets it to that thing, to that image. All right, set selected. In fact, I don't even need this whole thing. This is all just a wrapper around that thing. Bless you. It's all just a wrapper around this one image URL anyways. So now we could just set selected image to the URL. And if you click on the selected one, the one that's going to be big and massive and cool and huge, you can just set it back to null. So now we go dog, and it should, as soon as we click on it, boom, big dog. Boom, big dog. No dog, big dog. Big dog. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, that's wonderful. So now what we want to do is we don't just want to have that dog show up. We instead want to have it be on the screen over top. And you know, now that I think about it, I kind of want to darken the background as well. I learned something recently. It's called glass polymorphism. Absolutely wonderful. So let's call this select. Please pardon my terrible naming conventions. position fixed, width 100%, height 100%, top 0, left 0, background color, let's go RGBA, let's go 0.7, and I forget what the exact thing is for this. Yes, perfect. Oh, also I guess these things are, they're fine too. Okay. Max width 100%, max height 100%. So if we click on something now, yes, so it darkens everything, it blurs it. Beautiful. And I think all the scrolling and stuff works too. So you select this, you can still scroll up and down in the background there. But you can see all these absolutely wonderful, beautiful dogs here. And they're cute. Absolutely gorgeous dogs. Okay, so that's not all. What if I want to generate some wide images? We need to make a drop down. Oh, I just realized those are URL parameters as well, aren't they? You know what? Actually, this is no longer a NextJS stream. This is a absolutely botched Python stream. That's what this is going to be from here on. Because we have to edit this so that we can just add in any query parameters that we want. Can we just pass those in as an object? Pass those in as a list? Honestly, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT because that is often helpful. Oh, okay. So I can just add in a query parameters type. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. And then I just add that to the input variables. Params. No, let's call these query params. Query params. Oh, I need that ChatGPT thing back. ChatGPT. Yeah, I think I could just pass that in, hey? Might not be there, but that's okay. Kind of wondering how to. Oh, I mean, I guess. But I want to use this create params object. I just want the string stuff. There's got to be an easier way to do this. Bringing out the big guns. Because it should be something. Go to api.tsx. Man, I find it frustrating to move back and forth between JavaScript and Python. You know what I mean? So you should be able to access the parameters, right? Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, I like this. Yeah, 01 always does things a little bit nicer. Not that I'm just gonna copy and paste this code, of course, but because I would never. And then dollar. Well, plus all of that. Yeah, that's nice. Because then I can just dollar, get the query string there. Okay. So that looks really nice. All I have to do is completely duplicate that for the generator here that generates all of my Python stuff into TypeScript API stuff, which should be super duper simple and not difficult at all. Yeah, just like that. Isn't that beautiful? F strings have to be doubled up. So now, okay, so what we have now, the changes, in fact, I can even just go through the change log, is that here we take all of our controllers, registry, that sort of thing, and we're making an object for each of the controllers. What we do here is we're adding query parameters, and the query parameters is just this nice object somewhere up here, and it has a query and a string, a key and a string, and then it's going to be a string or a number or undefined or something like that. It's going to be anything that you might pass in the query. And what that's going to end up doing is this is going to search through all of those, add them to the query string, and if there's nothing, it's just going to leave a blank string because that's all we really want. And then the URL is going to then also have the URL is also going to have that query string appended to the end of it, so that it can pass in all of those things from the query. So now, if we run this, it should have some massive implications for my API.tsx. Yes, it's changed every single function to use that. I'm surprised actually that that worked the first time. I would not be surprised at all whatsoever if a bunch of stuff has gone wrong here. But nonetheless, now we can pass in query parameters. So if we go back to our image generation page, we can start off with a 1:1 ratio, and every single time that we pass something in here, we can start with a ratio equals ratio. Something's wrong there. What are we looking for here? Oh yeah. Okay, so we actually have to say query params. No. We have to do this. No. See, I'm bad at JavaScript. I'm so bad at JavaScript. You have to use absolute total stream of me completely relying on. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's just undefined. That's fine. Oh, it's because I don't have any defaults for any of these things. It's because this should default to this, right? Right? Who knows? But this works. This works just fine. I don't really care too much. It's not like it really matters too much. But now we can pass in the ratio, except that we can't actually set it. We haven't actually added a drop down for that.
I don't know how.
You can add a drop down. More of me relying on cursor AI. 16 by 9, 1 by 1, 9 by 16. And then it just sets the value. So Oh, jeepers creepers. Holy. That's not necessary. I don't know if you guys can see what's going on this screen very well, but here's what it originally made it as, which I think that might be slight overkill. So I'm lowering it down to this. And we don't need that much width, but we also don't need, we could also just add styles for the ratio dropdown. And that's going to be lovely and wonderful and cool. It's going to, it's going to just add everything that you could possibly ever want. Cool, looks good enough. We don't really need a width of 200 pixels, almost seemingly 20 pixels. Nope, that's not enough. 50 pixels should hopefully, geez, how much do we need? 100 pixels? Is that true? I don't know. But theoretically, now we've got the ratio, and it should be setting the ratio as a query parameter. So if we say dog and cat wearing tuxedos, does that have an E on it? Suits. They're going to be wearing suits now. It should generate un, deux, trois. And look at that. Look at the ratio on those things. That is 16 by 9. Oh, look at the beautiful suits. Wow. Absolutely cute, adorable, amazing. You guys can't see that. Oh, can you? I don't know. Where are we looking here? Okay. Yeah, you guys can see that. That's fine. Wow. Isn't that just wonderful? I can also get rid of this one too. Hate when I accidentally leave junk code laying around, you know what I mean? So that looks wonderful and beautiful. We should probably set a title on here as well. So we've got the index page. I think the way that we do this is we do this. So I'm just quickly adding a title to head from next title, I think. Images. Yeah, that works. Ooh, that's nice. Image generator. Yeah, look at that. Wonderful. Okay, so let's monkey taking a selfie on the roof of a semi-truck. We do that once for that. Then let's do some portrait photos as well, because why not? Oh yeah. See, Flux 1.1 Pro is just an absolutely amazing thing. The other thing I want to do is, I don't really like how it puts them at the end. I kind of want them to go at the start. So I'm going to do that instead, so that if we generate more, then it should generate them up here instead of down here. You don't really want them, you don't want to like have to scroll down every single time. So yeah, so now we've got a monkey on the roof of a semi-truck. These aren't really the roof. It's kind of just on the front, on the grill here, but whichever, that's okay. Also, that reminds me, I should probably make it so you can just click on this div to get rid of this. Boom. Bow. Great, now you can just click anywhere. Theoretically, this also works on mobile. So let's try that out. Oh yeah, look at how beautiful that is. Wonderful. Nobody makes better images of monkeys on top of semi-trucks. Oh yeah. And it loads them in correctly and stuff too. Oh yeah, that's super nice. Image generator. Okay, I would consider this part pretty well done. Oh, you know what the problem is too? Is that right now, as it stands, you can just spam this button and it's not going to prevent you from doing anything. So what I'd also like to do, we need to set it so that you can't generate while it's loading. So we're just going to set that as false. For good measure, we're going to put this in a try catch. Try catch. Now, do I care about the exception? Absolutely not. But what I do care about is setting loading to true at the start. And no matter what, whether it fails or not, set loading to false. One huge mistake I've run into before is making things like this, and then it'll have an error, and then it will like cut off right here, and I will have set this right here, and it will be loading forever because it threw an error right about here. And you will never be able to get that back without refreshing the page, which is annoying if you have a page like this, where whenever you refresh the page, then it's going to get rid of all the images that you had. And obviously you don't want that. You want to keep everything that you have on the page. And yeah, again, beautiful dogs, beautiful. Flux 1.1 Pro is just astounding. I take absolutely no credit. The people at Black Forest Labs are just insane. So now we want this to simply not work if loading is true. So if loading, just do an early return, and we can actually watch on our backend server. So here it gives the options, but here now I can click it 1,000 times. It's not going to generate anymore. Now it will, but it wouldn't have before. But theoretically now it will. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful logs there. So I want to also make it clear that you can't do that. So I want to make a nice little loading, like the little spinner thing. Those are always super nice and handy. If I was feeling real cheeky, I would make just an absolutely completely fake loading progress bar, but I don't feel like doing that. So, I don't know which screen you guys can see. Let's go back to this one so that you guys can see my code. So now, if it's loading, you will not be able to see the loading button. So, boom, loading button gone. Boom, crazy. Where'd it go? I don't know. Div. And what I'd like is for this to be a global style even, because I can guarantee there's going to be somewhere else that I have a nice loading spinner. So if we go to global.css dot loading spinner, I believe I also need keyframes. I think they're keyframes. Yeah, keyframes spinner. Let's call it that. 0%. Rotate 0 degrees. Then at 100%, we're going to rotate 100 degrees. And I don't know what's wrong here. Is that the way I do it? I don't know. Border radius 100% width 40 pixels perhaps. Height. Actually, I just could use EMs. I've been working in CSS for about 10 years off and on, and I just learned about EMs like 3 weeks ago. Absolutely handy. Animation, we'll call this spinner animation, call it 3 seconds. We'll have it ease in and out. We'll have it just go for infinity. So now, okay, border top, 3 pixels, solid black. Oh yeah, that's working. That's working almost too well. And by that, I mean, if you guys can see this, I know it's pretty small. This absolutely not working, non-functional thing Absolutely wonderful. That's exactly what I intended. Okay, we're gonna fix this. For now, I'm just gonna put a loading spinner just over here while I adjust things. I don't know what you guys want to see. Do you guys want to see the loading spinner? I'll shoot up the loading spinner for you there. On the other screen, you can see the code still, of course. Don't want to take that away from you guys. There's got to be a way to make this thing spin. Am I doing this wrong? Cursor comes in too handy these days. Am I not supposed to have these here? Is the 3 seconds too much? I think the 3 seconds might be too much. Oh, okay. 100 degrees is obviously not the right. 360 degrees, that's what it is. Oh, wow, look at that. That's crazy. That is insane. Except, I could probably use something like this. What did this actually change? Linear. I don't want it to be linear. I want it to be ease in out. The reason I want it to be ease in out is so it has that like kind of, it goes like whoosh, 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 instead of going shh. You know what I mean? And I'd also like to center that. That would be beautiful if I could do that. How did it center all the other stuff? See, this is what happens when you let the AIs take over. You let them write your code and all of a sudden you don't understand your code. Do not recommend. Align self-center. So I can only imagine that if I add that line, kaboom, and now, wow, look at that. It's centered. That's beautiful. You guys ever seen anything like that? I sure haven't. All right. So now, if we add dog wearing tuxedo, boom, generate. Oh, look at that lovely spinner. You've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. Boom. So there you have it. We have an image generator. You can open images, close images, open images, close images. You can generate any images that you really want to. Let's do, okay, let's go crazy here. Instead of dog wearing a tuxedo, dog wearing a green tuxedo. Holy. All right, guys, I promise not to go this crazy on stream, but it might just be that. Oh, wow. Oh, guys, I got to shut down the stream. We've gone too crazy. Yeah, no, beautiful. This is wonderful. Nice image generation. Okay, so that was fun. That being said, though, I think we could do some absolutely magnificent things. One thing, so that's going to be it pretty much for our front end stuff. So we can make a nice little commit there. Image generation page. Beautiful. Oh, I'm not publishing that anywhere. And in the back end, what changes did we make? Query parameter changes. And losing security because we don't want JWT on some of the other stuff. Wonderful. Okay, what we can do now, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that what we can do is we can talk to ChatGPT, well, not ChatGPT, GPT, because in my AI client here that I have built, you can generate text, and you can generate images too, or not, sorry, not images, you can generate objects. You can generate objects, so you can define an object as long as it inherits from base model, and then it'll give you a structured output of that object. Absolutely wonderful, game changer, beautiful thing. I cannot stress enough how amazing these changes are. The beautiful part about that is that GPT, absolutely terrible at coming up with creative ideas. If you just ask it for one idea and you say, oh, I really need this to be creative, just come up with something creative. It will always give you the same idea over and over and over again if you ask it 20 times to do that. However, if you ask it, generate me 20 ideas, and then you pick a random one, it's incredible because then it will generate 20 separate ideas and be 20 times more creative, and then you just pick one, and then it'll work out really well. I ended up using that for my Inspire Nails website, and that's actually how, if you just click generate ideas, it will always come up with something different. This one's slow. I haven't optimized this website, but check it out if you guys have time. InspireNails.ca. So this one's making Tropical Breeze. This one is it's making Nautical Voyage. And what I do there is I tell it, generate me 20 ideas for nails. Also, don't mind the missing finger. Generate me 20 ideas for nails, and then I'll pick one from that list. And then you can also obviously add in your own stuff like choose a Pokemon and generate based off that Pokemon. So now, in those 20 ideas, yes, it is indeed 4 cents per image. But I actually just added $30 to my Black Forest Labs account just before I started this, so that it's not too bad. In fact, much cheaper than Dolly, which is OpenAI's. They have significantly worse image generation quality, but they can charge up to 12 cents per image. There are other generation things that charge like 20 cents per image. So actually 4 cents per image for the absolute best of the best images. And it comes in like 3-4 seconds. Absolutely wonderful stuff. I big fan of Flux 1.1. But yes, 4 cents per image is the cost. This one seems to be slow, but that's okay. So this one is based on Umbreon Night Magic. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So my point is that you can generate 20 ideas, pick one at random, and then the creativity just goes completely off the charts because now you've got a 1 in 20 chance of getting the same thing as you got last time, assuming that all those 20 ideas are the same, which chances are 90% of the time they're not going to be. Just like if you asked it twice, it's 90% chance that it's not going to be the same idea twice. But now you've just taken that chance of it being the same thing and divided it by 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or however many you ask it to generate. So it's absolutely wonderful. I absolutely love it. And I really want to do that here, where you give it some sort of idea like, make me a nice painting or something like that. Or you tell it like, I want a picture of Pokemon or something like that. And then it comes up with an idea out of those 20 ideas, something really, really creative. And then it adds to your prompt, just blows it up and stuff like that. And you get just really creative images. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So we go back to image generation service. And I'm going to flip this over because I'm probably going to be working on code for a little longer. Oh, those things are the same. Oh, never mind. There we go. First day using OBS, I swear. So we already have the AI client here. What we need to do is when we're generating objects, we need to have some sort of schema defined that you want it to be. So if we go to image generation, we can just make a new file with a new object called generation ideas. Let's call it. And then you can have class generation ideas. It has to be based on base model for OpenAI to really like it. And maybe we'll have some initial thoughts. This is also really nice for adding in automatic chain of thought stuff if you find that 01 is too expensive, which it absolutely is. In most cases, GPT-4 is going to do you wonders. Sometimes I find that 01 is absolutely incredible when it comes to hard coding problems, but when it comes to things like this, you do not need it. Also, 01 cannot currently generate objects like GPT-4o can. So you've got your initial thoughts, so a nice chain of thought thing automatically added in. And then you might have, ideas. Let's just call it ideas. There's no need to get too technical with this stuff. I find that the pitfall a lot of people will run into is thinking that you need to like engineer your prompt or engineer your objects or engineer exactly what you say to some certain amount. I find that prompt generation is a huge exercise in futility. I mean, in 2 months they're going to release a new version of the model, and you're going to have to re-engineer all your prompts anyways. And the benefit is like you could spend 10 hours engineering all your prompts and get like a 0.1% improvement, whereas like you could have, chances are you're building some sort of product or something, and those 10 hours would have been 10 times better spent optimizing it to make it faster, making some better CSS, improving your skills in some other way so that down the line, the other improvements that you make, there's just a thousand million things that you could do with your time that's better than prompt engineering. And if you bought a course and paid real money for a course on prompt engineering, then I apologize, you are a victim of the system. And that might be a little bit controversial. Flux is cheaper. You love my, thank you. I appreciate the love. So we want to now, we have an AI client. We start off with our prompt, and if we see in my AI client, you can choose a response type. I already built this a little while ago. The response type can be string, where it'll just give you a normal chat completion. But what you can also do, here I define OT as a type variable. It can either be a string or something based off of that base model. And then if you pass that in here, then what your output is going to be the model that you passed in as your response type. Over here, it's going to take the response. It's going to do its nice structured output thing, which is wonderful, beautiful. I love it. You're going to choose your message, and you're going to have your result, and it's going to be parsed. And then you're going to log all the costs and stuff like that that are associated with it. Prompt caching is beautiful too. Excuse me. Finally, return your result. And the nice thing about this too is that the typing, oh man, so many people don't use typing in Python. I didn't use typing in Python until about 2.5 years ago, where I started working at this one company, and this guy was using typing, and he insisted that, I should start using typing too. I couldn't understand it for the life of me, but then as soon as I started using VS Code, and now I'm using Cursor, and like everything just makes so much more sense when you can just hover over an object and see that, like, okay, what am I looking at here? What's response type? Well, response type is a type which is based on this base model and that sort of thing. Or what's this response? And it's got these things, it's got these like nice, beautiful type hints. You know exactly what you're getting out of every single function. So absolutely encourage you guys to use that if applicable. So this is going to return an option of that. So what we want is ideas optional. It's going to equal await AI client dot generate text. We're going to have to write a system for this. Take the prompt and come up with 20. Should we go with 20? I don't know. 20 seems like it might be a lot. I should search for an idea to generate some incomes for the tool. Yeah, that's super true. And you know what? The craziest thing is that I had another thing. I think it was actually Inspire Nails that I asked it for. I asked 01 Preview. I was like, hey, can you come up with a solid monetization plan for this product that I have? And it was just like, oh yeah, well, here's all the different avenues you can go down. You can do like affiliate links. You can do this. You can do that. And all those sorts of types of things. And it was actually incredible. 01 is just way too smart. But we don't need to use that here because we're not doing anything that advanced. So take the prompt and come up with 20 creative ideas based on that prompt for images. The image ideas, usually it works best if they sound like image descriptions. So the image ideas should sound like image descriptions. E.g. Actually, we're going to make this a big string because Why not? Because we also have to tell it exactly what to generate for the object. That's the one downfall. Not really a downfall, I'd say, but that's the one thing you have to keep in mind. Otherwise, something that actually happens when you're doing structured outputs is that it will try to end the JSON, but it won't end the JSON properly. And then you'll get like, you'll end up using like 5,000 tokens because it didn't end the JSON properly, but the API will not let it finish its output. So then all of a sudden it just continues generating, and it'll generate absolute junk, filth, everything like that, all the way up until it uses all of the last of your tokens for that prompt, sorry, which could be like 16,000 tokens, which can get expensive, of course. But I think for 4.0, that's only like a couple cents. It's a mistake, of course, but it's not a super costly one in the grand scheme of things. If you're using these AI things, you should be prepared to spend like $50 by accident or something like that. So, all right, so an example might be a painting of a dog, ... or an image of blah, 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 blah. Make these verbose, specific, and descriptive. And what we can do from there, we have to tell it what it generates. Generate. And what did we say here? Initial thoughts. Okay. Initial thoughts. This is kind of like your chain of thought thing. Describe what you think the prompt is after, what it is, or what you might generate. And then ideas. Generate 20 image description ideas. So now you add that in as a system. And now the messages is an AI message. So I'm just gonna AI message. The role is gonna be AI role.user. The content is gonna be the prompt. So now we can just, that's your entire thread. And then response type. Your response type is going to be the generation ideas. So now what you're going to have is you're going to have option generation ideas. I have this option class. You guys might not like it, but it's not very Python. It's very .NET, because this is a real thing in .NET. But it makes error handling super nice, because what you can do is you can have your errors and stuff like that, and this will hold an error, but it can also hold a value, which means that at this point, the thing that's inside here might be an error, but it also might be the value that you want it to be. It might be the object that you want it to be. It can be whatever you want it to be. It also has all this typing and stuff, which is wonderful. So now I can do ideas optional, and this has an override to just value or throw. So the server error handling will then catch the domain error that this would throw, and then just pop it up to the next level as another one of these options, which then on that level you can value or throw and that sort of thing. And this is how you can just really quickly surface up errors from one to the next. I think it's wonderful. It's something I learned from working in .NET for a number of years. So here's all of our ideas now. You have a big list, 20 strings. It's gonna be wonderful. And the key here is that you only pick one. Or you don't have to only pick one. You could also just generate an image for all of the different ideas, but in fact that actually might be, no, that's not the way I'm going with it. That's not the way I want to go. Idea can be just random.choice, because if we were to do that, we would have to call this like 10 different times, and just the way that it works, I don't think it would be very quick. I don't think it would be very fast. I don't think it would be very nice. I think this is going to be a much better choice to do it. So just pick one idea out of all the ideas and then pass that in instead. So now, if we go back to our image generator, I'll flip on over here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep this on the bottom here, just because we have this endpoint. We're gonna just step through it. So dog wearing a green tuxedo. And now we have this system, we have the user message, and we can wait for the ideas. See how quickly that is? That's crazy. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, yeah, no wonder that was so quick. It's because it didn't work. Invalid request. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay. Before I change this, because this shouldn't be the string of self.role, because that's an enum. It should be the dot value of that. Yes. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know. I can't see the profile picture. Okay. There we go. Okay, now it's taking longer. Implying hopefully that it works. It's gonna be done eventually. Don't worry. Sweet. And we also got this beautiful little log here. How much did that just cost me? That costed me 0.04 cents. Holy, breaking the bank here. So now we can value dot value or throw, and it didn't throw. Let's go. So now we just have a big list of ideas. So I typed in dog wearing green tuxedo. Open that up. Prompts. And then we have all these ideas. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Okay, so we can have a portrait of a sophisticated dachshund wearing a tailored green tuxedo set against a backdrop of lavish ballroom filled with... Wow, these are some beautiful ideas. Okay, so now this is going to pick one of those ideas. What's the idea that we're going with today? A lively backyard barbecue scene where a beagle in a green tuxedo is caught mid-bark trying to steal a hot dog off a picnic table while the guests laugh. Oh, how adorable. Amazing. And now it's going to generate me 3 images of that. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. Wow. Look at that. There's the hot dog. You can see it. There it is. I'm going to bring this over here. Here's the beagle. It's wearing a hot dog. No, it's not wearing a hot dog. It's wearing a tuxedo and it's stealing a hot dog. Isn't that beautiful? Oh man. And everybody in there is just like, oh my goodness, we're so happy that this dashing dog is stealing our hot dogs. Wonderful. Everybody's smiling. It's wonderful. Isn't this great? So that's nice. Okay. I really, really like that. I'm really happy with that. You can also do something fun. Let's do something, generate a 4-square meme. I like that. I like the meme ones because, like, since this can do text, it can do text and you can read the text, but it always comes up with just ridiculous text. So, oh, we have a breakpoint here. Okay. I kind of want to see what all the ideas for these memes are. Okay, it's going to come up with ideas here. Oh, wonderful. All right. So we've got a bunch of ideas. All right. A 4-square meme depicting a cat waiting patiently by a closed door. Panel 1 shows. Okay. So we're going to have a bunch of these ideas. Honestly, I kind of want to just be surprised by the outputs. I also want them to include text. Oh, this something about a phone here. Okay. Evolution of this phone. Panavian, a smartphone. They laid it 2 flights of a phone. Panel 3 smartphone. They're 1.4 tiny morphone intos a tiny hologram device projected from the palm of the hand. Wow, that's amazing. Isn't that cool? Some of these are kind of crazy. Pamel of Fiove 80, 4 flip early 2000s, panel 2 early 2000. Latest phone is into tiny hologram projected from your hand. See, that's crazy. That's absolute. Oh. Okay, so what does this mean? 1. Adopt to use cute puppy. 2. Add nay training, puppy training. Clean up messes, the cactic, not the chaotic, the cactic love of pets. Oh my goodness, isn't that wonderful? Pet onists. Okay, let's generate another one while we look at these. Adopt 2 is a cute puppy. Crassios puppy training. Panel 3, it. Clean up mo messes. Cuddle time. Adopt 1. Panel 2, the chaotic love of pets. Wonderful. Aren't these just heart-warming, heart-wrenching, beautiful 4 square images of us, of all of the chaos of loving a pet? It's beautiful. It's wonderful. This is still generating. Wow. It sure takes a while. Is that... I think ChatGPT is taking a while. Not ChatGPT. Just GPT in general. Let's flip this over. Wow, it is taking a long time. I think I forgot to say generate as a JSON object. Yeah, so see, this might be the problem. Gonna need to tell it directly to generate. See, but as you could see, it errored out, didn't work, but it caught the error and said, you know what, we're still done loading anyways, even if it didn't work out for us. So all of it works out in the end. That's not a 4 square meme, what the heck? Generate a 4 square meme, please. That does not look like a meme. Here we go. Oh. Stages of a relationship. First date, butterflies. 3 months in, idealization. Half a year later, the truth. After a year, pure comfort. All right, let's see. After a year, are they sitting? What kind of couch is this? And why is it blurry? Man, they really went hard on the JPEG artifacts on these 4 square memes. Idealization. Half a year later, the truth. Halfway over TV shows. Oh no. That's crazy. My goodness. My goodness. All right. I think I'm going to generate a couple more of these, and then I think I'm going to call her there. And that's going to be pretty much it for the evening. It's going to be wonderful. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was my first stream in a very, very long time. And I had a lot of fun. This has been a wonderful time, and I'm definitely going to be continuing on this. All right, let's see. When you realize you are the chosen one, me entering your porter like is in more important. When you coffee, life is say is more important. And then coffee, reality hits. But your Lycer owners is coffee in the word bath. After coffee, I'm absolutely genius. What I already too late. Truly inspiring words. All right. I think that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you later.